The auction block reeked of desperation and industrial disinfectant. Lisa pressed herself against the cold metal wall of her holding cage, watching the procession of beings led past her. Some walking on 2 legs, others on 4, all sharing the same hollow look of the condemned. The Zephyrian slave markets operated with clinical efficiency. Each product was weighed, cataloged, and assigned a purpose: labor, entertainment, or meat. Lisa had been classified in the latter category 3 days ago, when her previous owner decided she was too small for heavy work and too defiant for service. At barely 50 kilograms, she would fetch a modest price at the meat markets of Kepler Station. Lot 847, the auctioneer's mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. Human female, age estimated 22 standard years, 51.3 kilograms, opening bid, 200 credits. Lisa closed her eyes, trying to block out the casual discussion of her body weight like she was livestock. She had been many things in her 23 years: engineer, daughter, fighter, but never meat. The irony wasn't lost on her that the same hands that had once designed faster-than-light engines were now being evaluated for their tenderness. 250. 300. The bidding was lackluster. Human meat wasn't particularly prized among the Zephyrian elite. They preferred the marbled flesh of Altarian cattle or the delicate flavor of Proximan fish. Lisa was, at best, cheap protein for the working class. 5,000 credits. The sudden jump in bidding caused a stir. Lisa opened her eyes to see the crowd turning toward a lone figure in the back, a human male, tall and lean, wearing the simple gray coveralls of a freight hauler. His dark hair was unkempt, his face weathered by years of stellar radiation exposure, but his eyes held something Lisa hadn't seen in months: kindness. 5,000? The auctioneer's surprise leaked through his mechanical modulation. Going once, going twice, sold to buyer 2847. James Chen had been running freight between the outer colonies for 15 years, ever since Earth's mining conglomerates had expanded beyond the Sol system. His ship, the Meridian, was small but reliable, perfect for a man who preferred solitude to company. He had learned long ago that humans were a rare sight in the Zephyrian sectors, treated more as curiosities than people. When he had received the transmission about the slave auction, he had initially ignored it, but something about the listing for human female meat grade had made his blood run cold. He had seen enough of the galaxy to know what happened to humans who fell through the cracks of interstellar law. Your purchase will be delivered to Bay 94, the automated system informed him as credits transferred from his account. 5,000 was most of his savings, money he had been setting aside for ship upgrades. But as he watched the small figure being led away in shackles, he knew he had made the right choice. Lisa found herself in a sterile preparation room, where Zephyrian technicians began the process of, she didn't want to think about it. The door chimed and the human from the auction entered. Up close she could see the constellation of small scars on his hands and arms, the marks of someone who worked with machinery. "I'm James," he said simply, dismissing the technicians with a wave. They looked confused but complied, their contractual obligations fulfilled with the sale. Lisa stared at him suspiciously. "So what's your game? You some kind of collector? Or do you just prefer your meat fresh?" James knelt down to meet her eyes. "I'm neither. I'm someone who believes humans shouldn't be sold like livestock." Began working on her restraints with a small plasma cutter. "My ship's in Bay 94, I'm taking you home." "Home?" The word felt foreign on Lisa's tongue. "I don't have a home. Earth is restricted space for people like me. No documentation, no citizenship status." "Then we'll make a new one." The restraints fell away, and Lisa rubbed her wrists where the metal had chafed. "I could use an engineer. On my crew. The Meridian's not much to look at, but she flies true." Lisa studied this strange man who had just bankrupted himself to buy her freedom. "Why? You don't even know me." James stood and extended his hand. "Because every human deserves better than being weighed by the kilo. Because someone did the same. For my sister once on Titan Station, And because the galaxy's a lonely place, it's better when there's two of us watching each other's backs. For the first time in months, Lisa felt something other than fear or resignation. She took his hand and stood, feeling the phantom weight of her chains falling away. "So, Captain," she said, managing a small smile, "where exactly are we headed?" "Wherever we want," James replied, leading her toward the docking bays. "The Outer Rim has plenty of colonies that don't ask too many questions. We can run freight, take odd jobs, maybe even do some good along the way." As they walked through the crowded station corridors, Lisa marveled at the simple act of moving freely. Other species gave them curious looks. Humans were uncommon in this sector, but no one stopped them. They were just two beings among thousands, unremarkable in their freedom. The Meridian was exactly as James had described, small, scarred, but sturdy. Her engines hummed with the steady rhythm of a well-maintained ship. Lisa ran her hands along the control panels, feeling the familiar thrill of being around functional technology again. "She'll need some modifications," Lisa said, already seeing possibilities for improvements. "Better shielding, upgraded navigation systems, maybe a more efficient power distribution network." James smiled as he began the launch sequence. "Sounds like I got myself a good engineer after all." As the Meridian pulled away from Kepler Station and entered hyperspace, Lisa watched the stars stretch into lines of light. She was no longer cargo, no longer meat, no longer a commodity to be bought and sold. She was free, and she was going home.